Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another Appalachian Trail community news, Thru Hiker update, and trail information. Well, first off, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So all the trees are gone. It's getting chilly and cold. Winter precipitation could be just right around the corner. And so some of you folks are going to have a white Christmas. And here in North Kakalaki, up around the mountains, it looks like, and in the foothills, we might have a white Christmas too. So fingers crossed about that. But in any case, looking forward to that, and just wanted to say that and wish y'all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So, but you came here to talk about and hear about what's going on the trail. So let's go ahead and dive right in to what's going on with the Sobos out there. So we got Lilo and Stich. They are out of the Smokies and they are actually into Georgia. So they enter their last state now, under 70 miles. So they should be finishing up this week with that winter weather coming in. So be thinking and praying about that for them, because it could get pretty icy. Certainly going to get cold out there for them, but it's awesome just to see them finishing up. And we've been following them throughout most of their hike, and they've been updating us. So that is awesome to hear that from them. And then something else about them is they are hiking for the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation, which does research for Parkinson to try to end that, because her father has Parkinson's, and so that's near and dear to their heart. And they set out to try to raise $50,000, and because the hiker community is so generous, they have actually raised over $64,000 for that foundation. So that is awesome out there. Congratulations to not only Lilo and Stich, but the whole hiker community and other folks out there that have contributed to that. That's just awesome for y'all to do that. And please continue to do that as they go through and finish up their hike. Sobo Turtleback, he has been going strong since June 30th. He says the Sobo is right now is meant being cooler hiking temperatures, and that there are less crowds. Matter of fact, a lot of hikers are few and far between that he runs into since he passed the Nobo bubble back in August. He's currently working his way through Virginia. He loved the Shanty, spent Thanksgiving there at Skyland with Mistress Turtleback. And he got to see the aftermath of the rock slide there on the Blue Ridge Parkway, which actually has the Blue Ridge Parkway closed down right now, but he hopes to finish sometime in mid-January. Ozoner, he has finished his Sobo section of the AT, but he has not finished the AT, so he's going to take a break, and he's going to go out to the Arizona Trail and finish the AT sometime around May, and then flip-flop on a Nobo up from Harper's Ferry up to Katahdin. And then the Lookout Hostel reports that Speed Bump is probably the last Sobo for them, and he has left their hostel up there. So here's a picture that they took. It's on their game cam, apparently up in Pennsylvania, or what we call Rocksylvania. Everybody's dropped all their cameras on the rocks up there and broke them, and so all they've got left is durable game cameras out there. So appreciate y'all sending that in from the Lookout Hostel up there in Pennsylvania. And then Jen on the trail, she's in Southern Virginia, and she has been fighting some blowdowns and a lot of ice where the trees have been inundated with ice and have flopped over onto the trail, and even weeds and stuff like that on the trail. And so that can be a miserable slog through all that, because one, the ice slows you down, but two, you get wet from the ice, and then you're just wet and cold. You may be warm while you're hiking, but then you stop to eat or stop to take a break or get water or something, and now you're wet and cold. So in the summer, wet, I'm okay with. In the winter, cold, I'm okay with. Wet and cold in the winter, wrong answer. I'm not okay with that. So hopefully for our end of days hike, we're not going to have that issue out there. But in any case, Jen on the trail, keep on hiking. And then our fabulous firsties, who is our classroom that is virtually hiking the AT with their teacher there. She is integrating the what's going on in the classroom with the AT, and so math and English and all kind of neat stuff like that they're just integrating into their studies and learning about it. Her class has really gotten into it. So right now they are through Grayson Highlands, and they got to see the ponies. Here's some of the ponies that they brought in, and they got to see the ponies up there in Grayson Highlands. And then they also got some trail magic from Nani and Poppy. So thanks a lot to Nani and Poppy out there. There's a Nani that is actually through hiking this year. Don't know if that's the same Nani or not, but in any case, Nani and Poppy, thanks for being a part of that. If you want to be a part of that and send them stuff from the trail or Trail Magic or whatever, down in the description section, you can find the address where you can send that to. So we had some folks finish the trail, finish their hike since our last update. We had Otis Pinnell. He completed his 2022 flip-flop, which was from Harper's Ferry to Katahdin and then back to Harper's Ferry to Springer's Mountain. So that was awesome for him to do that. But what was really awesome was his father, Clayton, who thru hiked 27 years ago. Boy, that was a long time ago. What a difference a trail was then. I love to hear those stories. But he met him there at the Springer parking lot and hiked the mile or 0.9 of a mile up to Springer and was there with him when he finished and took his picture up there. So I think that's awesome, Otis. So congratulations to you and for your father being up there with you. And then Skip, he finished his Sobo hike at Springer on December 14th and he started on June 23rd. Backtrack, he has finished his Sobo at Springer. He's completed the trail on December 1st and he started on June 14th. So he said that he completed his hike, but it was very bittersweet. He misses the trail terribly, but it's time to come back to life. And so I hear lots of hikers that feel the same way. Talk to them every year. This year is no exception. PTD, post-trail depression, is a real thing. People come back and it's difficult for them to integrate into the real world, back into the matrix, because it just means so much to them for the thru hike. So, you know, right now, without going into a long detail, the best advice I can give you is just get out there, be a part of the hiker community, communicate with the hiker community. You know, that's what part of the Foothills Trail, the end of days hike that we are going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. Part of that is to bring other thru hikers out there and bring the hiker community together. Let some of those folks with PTD just come be a part of the hiker community, but also let them mentor new hikers, whether they be section hikers or 2023 thru hikers coming up. Let them be a resource for them out there. So I'm really looking forward to them doing that. And then also you can go to the Southern Ruck that is put on by ALDA, the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association. That is coming up January 13th to the 15th in Hot Springs. And you can go to the ALDA website. Just do a Google search for it and you'll be able to find that, register for that, and go and be a part of that Southern Ruck and be a part of the community there. So I went to the gathering not this year, but last year, and that was really neat to go and be a part of that. So whenever they're closer, I like to go to that and may go up there at least for the day anyway, just to kind of hear the classes and stuff. So, and to be there with the hiker community. So some stats we've got for the year ending from Baxter State Park. The Nobo summits they had was 1,479. That's Nobo pure hikers. Flip-floppers was 192. Subos was 336. And flip-flops Sobo was 135. So on the Sobos and the flip-flop Sobos, don't know if all those finished, or even the flip-flop north, because they flip typically from Harper's Ferry up to Katahdin and then come back to Harper's Ferry and go Sobo to Springer. So don't know if those folks actually finished their trail or not. So the only one that we got a pretty good idea is the Nobo of 1,479. And even with that, some folks may have registered up there at the park as a pure Nobo, but they've got a few miles to go back and pick up because they had to skip just due to whatever reason. Some people get off the trail and they skip a section there to go when they get back on the trail to go be with their family. So, you know, if that occurred and they didn't go back and pick it up, technically they're not a thru hiker, but you know, nobody's tracking that, and that's really up to the individual. And then also some stats for the folks we've got registered now. So this week we've got 1,596 folks total that are registered for Nobo. Flip-floppers are 88 and Sobo are 88. So that's a total registration so far this year of 1,772 for 2023. Now, this time last year in 2022, we had a total of 2,049. So we're down somewhere around, what is that, to 300-ish. Can't do math on the spot real good. But somewhere around that in 2021, this time, of year, we were at 2,006 registrations, and in 2020, we're at 1,678 registrations. So we're kind of trending, leveling out, if not starting to trend down just a hair, and that kind of follows where we were doing all the way back through 2019. Of course, 2019, 2020, data is real sketchy because of COVID, so you don't know how much you can depend on that. But that is where we're trending right now. We'll see as we continue with that. And certainly the last 2 years have kind of been a surge for people that had to get off in 2019, 2020. 2021, 2022 was kind of a surge for that pent-up demand that the folks that got off due to COVID wanted to get back on and either finish or start over or just do their through hike. So that's kind of where we're at with that. We are maxed out with 2 days, March 1st and April 1st, which are typical days to max out, and we'll see March and to April 15th really getting populated and may have up to a dozen days that are maxed out on the trail. Maxed out meaning more than 50 hikers starting on a given day, no-bow. Or SOBO or flip-flop, either way, but typically we only max out for the no-bows, and the 50 hiker carrying capacity is just an arbitrary number set by the ATC. Don't know the algorithm they use to figure that out, because there's no way 50 folks can fit in all the trail up there where they do, where they go from Springer or the approach trail to Hawk Mountain or whatever the other shelter is that people usually end their first day of hiking on. So the capacity is always exceeded during those days when you're getting up around 40 to 50 to even above 50. So don't know where they came up with that algorithm. Probably the big board in the back that they spin just to make whatever decision they're making. And then some hikers from our support list that are getting ready to start the first week in January. We got Al Hernandez, trail name Great Grandpa. He'll be starting the first week in January. And Jeff and Maya Estabrook, they are also starting the first week in January. So looking forward to following them. Both will be doing the approach trail from Amicalola Falls State Park up to Springer. And right now we're up to 45 on the list. So if you want to be a part of that and put out your social media to the hiker community, people that are following you around, the best way to do that is sign up for my hiker support list. That's kind of become a clearinghouse for where folks can go to find other hikers out there on the trail and follow them along on their hike and give them an attaboy or attagirl or atterday or whatever they consider themselves throughout the course of their trip. So the link to that list to sign up for it is down below, as is the link to the list where if you're part of the hiker community and want to track those folks and spur them on, then that link is down there as well. So we got some hiker news out down there and some trail news since the last time we had our last video. Joe Eggy Eagleston, who is 59, was passed away or died on the trail. He was tragically killed when in the White Mountains there at Crawford Notch, up on Mount Willard, when he got too close to the edge and it was icy conditions, and he slipped and fell over the cliff there at the summit. So it was an 800-foot drop. My understanding is he only went 300 foot, but of course 300 foot's enough. And so he was killed in that incident. His wife was there, heard him yell, saw him go over, called 911. They were able to get there to him that day, and it was late, early evening before they could get him off the trail there. But so that's very tragic. The officials say that they were well prepared. They had on all the gloves, everything you need for cold weather and icy hiking, including what you need on your shoes. So they did have traction devices on their shoes that should have, if they hadn't got too close, it would have prevented them from going over. But traction devices are only so good on an elevation, and it also depends on what type of traction device they had. If they had the ones that are really aggressive or ones that are not so aggressive and are just really just knots, and how worn they are as well. So in any case, Eggleston, he was an engineer on the Mount Washington Cogway Railway, and so he drove that coal-fired engine up that Mount Washington. And so I'm sure he will be thoroughly missed there. Our northern correspondent Whispers brought this to my attention, and he indicated that it happened on a peak that is really a trivial stroll from the AMC Lodge, which is on pavement there, that hikers call it Hangover Hill, and it can definitely happen anywhere and tends to happen on the most popular and easy hike. So certainly something that you need to, when you get out there in icy conditions, just, avoid those cliffs, avoid them really even under conditions that are great conditions. You just don't ever know when something's going to give way out there. And so we have had an increase in the distance of the Appalachian Trail this year. We are up 4.1 miles to 2,198.4 miles this year. So the total length of the AT typically changes every year. It's been going up the last couple of years. So this particular year it went up because we had a reroute there in New York at Harriman State Park, there where the Palisades Parkway and the trail crosses that there. Had a hiker killed a couple years ago, and so they put in a detour there for to get up to a pedestrian crossover that was not too far away. And so I don't know why they hadn't done that years ago. This crossing's been there. It's almost like somebody's got to die before they do something, which is stupid, but that's just the way they do stuff. So in any case, it is temporarily permanent. So until a permanent solution comes up, they've deemed it temporary permanent, and it's part of the trail mileage this year, a three mile that is added to it. I don't see any reason in the world why this can't become a permanent portion of the trail. If I was an ATC member, and I'm not an ATC and will never be, because of the way they treated the hiker community during COVID and hikers out there in general, and that's a whole nother story. But if I was, I would not want my membership money, to be spent on a pedestrian crossing, or whether it be a bridge or a tunnel there, when one is just 3 miles away. So that just makes so much more sense. Now it does create a problem about getting longer hike getting to the shelter that's nearby, but we have long hikes to numerous shelters on the trail. So not all the shelters are right there on the trail. So if you're a member of the ATC, which there's probably not many of you left in general, and not many of you left that watch this channel, but if you are, leave a comment down below whether you think your money should be spent on something else, on building a crossing right there. Or if you're not an ATC member, leave a comment down below anyway, because the ATC is watching this channel. So leave a comment. So we also, Massachusetts and Connecticut, they gained 0.9 miles, and Maine gained 0.2 miles. So that is where the 4.1 miles has come in. Don't forget, again, about the end of Days hike. You can go to the Facebook page, find out all the information you want there. If you got any questions, ask those questions there. I've already put several posts, so you may have to kind of scan through those posts. It's got information in them. I'll either answer the question, or there's other people out there in the know that will answer those questions as well. So feel free to go there. That is kind of a community in and of itself for the end of Days hike coming up. And so go and check that out. If you have any pictures or videos of the Foothills Trail, post those there as well. Particularly after we get through the hike, want to see all of those that we have from that. But go and check out that Facebook page. Folks, that's all I got this week. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And as always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.